Bloomfield's dedicated update show. Events, businesses, and people. Anything and anyone causing a ripple in the community. And now, let's dive in to The Splash Live.
Good morning and welcome to our special edition of The Splash Live. Dave Scott right here in our Splash studios. Tyler Keefe is out today, so we have another special edition of our program. It's a combination of The Splash and the MegaCast, and I get to do the whole thing. How lucky am I on this beautiful Friday here in West Bloomfield and in Oakland County and in Michigan. So good to be with you. Thank you for joining us and watching us in literally millions of different places each and every day. And that starts with Comcast Channel 15 in the greater West Bloomfield area, where we've been for years, thanks to Comcast, thanks to the greater West Bloomfield Cable Communications Commission for making it happen each and every day. We're on live on Channel 15 24/7. If you're an AT&T subscriber, you can find us over on Channel 99. Tune in there. Community channel, so if you live in Bloomfield Hills or Birmingham or Royal Oak or Chester, where you can watch your channel. If you're in West Bloomfield, Harbor, and of course West Bloomfield Civic Center TV on Channel 9. We invite you to go to our we stream live there, and you can go to our current programs and go look at if you missed yesterday's show and you wanted to go back and watch that, or maybe you were featured in one of our shows. You'd like to see that. You can do so on civiccentertv.com. Wouldn't be a real TV show if we weren't streaming, right? These days, we're on Facebook and we're on YouTube as well. Just go look for Civic Center TV in those platforms, and you'll find everything you need from us right there. And then we're on the radio. For today's edition of the show, 89.3 Lakes FM West Bloomfield and portions of our show on 88.1 The Biff in Bloomfield Hills. So lots of opportunities. You're driving around the area to tune in and enjoy, and it makes me so proud to be on The Biff. I was there the day the station went on the air. Yes, I really am that old. And the same at Lakes FM. So good to have both of our radio stations along with us. Hey, happy Cinco de Mayo. We'll talk more about what Cinco de Mayo really is in just a couple of minutes. First of all, let's take a look at our weather, and it's going to be absolutely terrific today. Already up to 50 degrees, going to get a lot nicer. 68, wow. 68 degrees is our high. It's almost spring-like and bordering on summer-like weather today. It's going to be nice all weekend, too. Some clouds here and there, but generally very nice. As you can see on the screen, 70 tomorrow. How about that? Isn't today Friday? It is. So that's okay. You can leave that graphic up. We get it. 70 tomorrow, and it's going to continue that way all the way through the weekend. Trust me, in spite of what the graphic says. So absolutely a terrific weekend. Get out and enjoy the weather after we've had just this cold, awful stuff. Coming up in the program later on today, we're going to talk to Michael Greiner, Assistant Professor of Management at Oakland University. Really interesting guy, and we're going to talk about a bevy of things going on here in the state of Michigan, and more on the business and political front. He's coming up a little bit later in the program. I really look forward to talking to him. He's absolutely fantastic. So today is Cinco de Mayo. I get it. For a lot of you, it means you're going to sneak out of work a little bit early, and it's good it's on a Friday, and maybe drink some Dos Equis or have a margarita. But there's a whole lot more to Cinco de Mayo than that. A lot of things going on this weekend in Ferndale. Celebrations today and tomorrow right in downtown Ferndale for Cinco de Mayo. But it would be Cinco de Mayo for the things going on tomorrow, I guess. But the big activities here in Metro Detroit always center around Southwest Detroit, where that is really where we have a larger concentration of Hispanics, and they really celebrate Cinco de Mayo there with a parade today at 12 noon and a lot of other festivities. If you don't regularly visit Southwest Detroit and some of the establishments, absolutely the real authentic food and a good time and a lot of really wonderful people. So get out, and if you are enjoying a Friday night in any of our communities, I know all the establishments will be very full tonight, but do so very carefully and safely. So, common misconception about Cinco de Mayo is that it is the celebration of Mexico's independence. A lot of people think it's kind of like the 4th of July. But it is not. I'm going to read this, put my glasses on here. The day actually celebrates a single battle, the Mexican Army's 1862 victory over France at the Battle of Puebla. The colonizing French were led by Napoleon III, while the United States was preoccupied with the Civil War at that time. The emperor thought it was a good time to establish a French outpost in the Americas as a replacement for the French-controlled land lost during the Louisiana Purchase. Mexican Army considered an underdog, but they defeated the French, certainly worthy of a celebration even still today, hence Cinco de Mayo. Speaking of celebrations, it happened yesterday. The Detroit Tigers beat Justin Verlander, and they are on a major roll. They totally swept the Mets, which is a World Series bound team. We know our Tigers struggling a little bit, so enjoy it. And the Tigers, you know, maybe they could stay on a roll through the weekend. Good luck to the Detroit Tigers. So, speaking of sports, I had a great opportunity yesterday afternoon to head over to West Bloomfield High School, where they were doing their National Letter of Intent Signing Day, and a number of students at West Bloomfield High School signed and announced their intentions for college. We caught up with them and had a chance to chat with them at that, starting out with Maxwell Bowers, who announced he's going to Jackson Community College. He is a star baseball player for the Lakers, and when I caught up with Maxwell yesterday, he talked about college.
Oh, I'm extremely excited. I am looking forward to working very hard this next year coming up, and hopefully I can, go on to a bigger, better school and, just be great in my future.
Maxwell's big effort there is to move from a community college to a four-year institution, no different in athletics as it is in academics. A great path, and we wish him the very best of luck. Speaking baseball, we also caught up with Adrian Epps, who's going to Macomb Community College, and asked him if he was excited.
Yeah, I am. The coaching staff really made me feel at home, just gave me a place where I can play, and, going for free, that helps too. So I'm just excited for the next journey.
Abby Coppin, it's not all football and baseball here. Abby Coppin has been involved in synchronized skating in the program at West Bloomfield Schools. She is going to Western Michigan University, but it ain't easy. And she talks about all the hard work during her career at West Bloomfield High School.
It was just a lot of early morning practices. Like, we would have practices at about 5 in the morning every Saturday, and then we'd have practices as late as 11 o'clock on weekdays, which got difficult with school, but I made it work. And then to make a team on Western was a very long tryout process, and I made it pass.
All right, good job, Abby. Kennedy Alger, Northland College, small college. She's going to play soccer, and I asked her how she got involved in soccer in the first place.
So I have been wanting to play soccer since I was very little, and when my oldest sister came into my life, she was playing soccer, and I thought it was really cool because I considered it to be like a boy sport because I was still in that area of my life where it's like, oh, boy sport, girl sport, And so once she started playing soccer, I'm like, this is really cool. And then my youngest sister got onto a team, and I couldn't get onto a team for a couple extra years. And so after that, I just kept wanting to go and go. And then Northland reached out to me, and they were like, hey, we see that you're interested, we're interested, and we went from there.
Kennedy and I had a great chat. She could be a good communication student there, too. Good luck at Northland College, Kennedy. Jasmine Ortiz, we also had a nice chat. She's heading off to Rochester University, where she is going to play lacrosse, and we talked a little bit about the difference in the high school game and the game at college.
Well, here it's not a contact sport. In college, it is a contact sport, so it's more like tackling and stuff like that. But in high school, it's not too aggressive, really. But yeah, basically, I am defense, so I have to do a lot of defending and pushing. So I have to be really strong and stuff against people. So.
All right, so Jasmine's going to have her hands full as she transitions. And, West Bloomfield, let's be honest, the last several years, a great football program. I've had the pleasure of calling the games. Basketball has been a building process. The West Bloomfield schools have really dramatically improved the basketball program. They are on the right track and doing absolutely terrific now. And one of the people that's had a big impact on the program over the last 4 years is Mitchell Say, and he is graduating graduating, heading off to Fisk University. And I asked him yesterday, after signing his letter of intent, what his goals were as he heads off to college.
I'm just looking forward to being the best version of myself. I'm gonna get along with my teammates. I love the Coach Kenny Anderson. He's a great guy. We got a good connection.
All right, Mitchell, congratulations to you. Congratulations to all the students. A lot of parents in the room very proud. But one of the proudest and one of the biggest smiles certainly came from Eric Pierce, the athletic director. And I caught up with Eric after the ceremony. We had a nice little chat. Here at West Bloomfield High School in the Splash Live, Dave Scott with my buddy Eric Pierce, athletic director. When these students sign their letter of intent, it's got to be a good day, and I know it is because look at that smile.
That's right. No, it's absolutely my favorite days as an athletic director are when our students are up here signing their national letter of intent. It's just, as I said earlier today, it's the culmination of all their hard work, and we see them grinding, and we see them doing the day-to-day, and we see them achieving in the classroom, and this is their reward. It's their day. It truly is, and it's a big congratulations to them and their families, and it's just a wonderful thing. They're a great representation of Laker Nation.
Well, I'm smiling today too because I got to tell you, I get a lot of pleasure out of being around the student athletes as I do covering your games, and every time I talk to somebody, I'm impressed. We have impressive people here in the programs. No big surprise that the results that they see in the pool, on the field, on the diamond is so impressive here. The run that your programs are having here in West Bloomfield is absolutely incredible. And then they're successful in these classrooms as well. Got to make you proud.
Oh, it sure does. And you know, it's a huge testament to our coaches and the players themselves and the families that they come from. There's a lot of maturing that goes on in high school and a lot of growth. And to see them develop from freshmen all the way through their senior year and to see what they become in terms of their personalities and how they come out of their shell and they become their own individual. And it's a very rewarding experience.
And I don't know about you, but then we get the chance to continue to follow them after they leave, especially the super high-profile players like Donovan Edwards. You know, it just, as a West Bloomfield person, it brings me great pride to watch him and the other Lakers on television on Saturday, too.
Oh, definitely. Every time you hear a Donovan Edwards or a Dylan Tatum or a C.J. Harris and they say from West Bloomfield, I mean, it gives me, I got the goosebumps going right now just thinking about it. I love hearing those things, and I love following them after their school here.
All right, well, you do realize at some point one of these kids, they're going to be talking about their life 50 years from now. They'll go, you know, it was that athletic director back at West Bloomfield High School that made a difference in my life, or a coach, or somebody else.
Absolutely. No, there's no doubt that the coaches especially are making a difference, and we hope as an athletic department that we play a small role in that. But like I said, it's the families, it's the coaching staffs, it's the players themselves, and it's the culture that we've developed here at West Bloomfield that truly helps these guys develop both the young ladies and the young men into the athletes and the students that they are right now.
Eric, thank you very much.
Oh, thank you as always, Dave. We appreciate you being here.
Here at the I Center, West Bloomfield High School, Dave Scott back with more of The Splash in just a moment. All right, well, I'm coming right back to me out of the case of timing. See, now, if Tyler had done that, he'd be in big trouble, wouldn't he? Yes, he would. All right, thank you very much, Eric. Congratulations to all the students, and I just got to say that you know, also great news happening in Walled Lake, in Bloomfield Hills, and Farmington, and all the other schools right in our immediate area, and all over Metro Detroit and Michigan. That story, that signing day story, repeating over and over and over again. And we have amazing students. Also, great news on the academic front. And when we come back after this next interview, we're going to talk about some big accolades in Bloomfield Hills High School and in the West Bloomfield School District as well, more on the academic side. But right now, let's jump right to the college environment and say hello to Michael Greiner, Assistant Professor of Management at Oakland University. Michael, it's good to be with you.
It's great to be here with you, Dave.
Thank you very much. Tyler gets all the pleasure of these moments with you. I got to tell you, our staff loves you. These segments that we do have been absolutely fantastic. I appreciate you taking time for us, and you'll just have to muddle through this week with me.
Well, I have a lot of fun doing it, and Tyler does a great job. I really appreciate the time he puts into this.
He does, and good news, he's doing great. He'll be back on the air on Monday, and we really look forward to having him back. So let's start and take a look at some of the things in the business front. First of all, headline, scary news on the job market and manufacturing. Michael, talk about it.
Yeah, this is the weird thing that we've been seeing that we've talked about many times before, me and Tyler. But on the one hand, we got this data earlier in the week that shows that the job market seems to be slowing. The difference essentially between the number of job openings and the number of people looking for work was going down, which should seem that the job market is slowing. Also, there were indications that the unemployment rate had ticked up and that people were essentially not quitting at the same rate that they were. People only quit from their jobs when they think that they've got another job to go to. And then on the manufacturing front, we got some data seeming to indicate that, things were kind of slowing down there a little bit. The problem is that a lot of the retailers had built up large inventories. And what that means then is that the manufacturers don't have to make more of the stuff then that the retailers are going to turn around and sell. So there'd been a bit of a slowdown in manufacturing. So it seemed up until today like everything was starting to slow down in the economy, which ironically is what the Federal Reserve wants, but, isn't necessarily what everybody else wants. But then just today, we got new data that shows that the job market is still hot, that the unemployment rate has actually dropped by a point, that the number of new jobs created is higher than was expected by most economists to the tune of about 60,000 workers. So you just don't know what's going on with the labor force right now.
It is really an unusual set of metrics. Now, I'm not the expert that you are, but normally as we have high inflation and prices keep going up, that usually is a bad sign for all the rest of the economy. But right now, I mean, there are jobs to be had. Employers would like to hire a lot more people. I get an article and a press release every day of some organization holding some kind of hiring event because they just can't find everybody they need. I talked to the folks at the Michigan Restaurant Lodging Association this week, and they don't have enough people. The licensed beverage, the bars and places they don't have enough people. And we know it's happening in manufacturing. Go by any large manufacturing facility, and there's a sign out in front, we're hiring. So is this a really unusual dynamic in our economy right now?
Yeah, it totally is. I mean, here's the problem is that we had this weird disruption with the COVID crisis, where everything shut down and that kind of changed the economy, and then everything reopened very quickly and that changed the economy. And now we're kind of trying to adjust to all that. And everything that we're dealing with right now with the inflation, with the job market, all that goes back to this crisis that we had with COVID. So we're kind of in this new territory here where economists don't really know what to think. We think that one thing's going to happen and then another thing happens. Like, for example, we thought that we'd have a slowdown in hiring with the latest jobs numbers. But then just today, we get this report saying that, oh no, the hiring is up. What's more, is actually, you expect that as the economy slows down a little bit, that wages will start to go down, because wages, as wages go up, then that creates upward pressure on inflation, because the employers then have to pass along these higher costs then to their customers. Well, as it turns out, despite predictions to the contrary, now it turns out we've had a bigger wage increase than we have seen in the last year. And this is just the latest jobs report that came out this morning. And what's more is you see that people are back in the workforce. There was a period there where it seemed like people weren't working at the same levels that they were working prior to the COVID pandemic. Well, now it turns out that labor force participation, which means the total number of people who are actually in the workforce, working or looking for work, that number is now back above pre-pandemic levels. So, it's kind of this big surprise.
What do you make of it? I'm not as smart as you are. I'm a very simplistic person. But it seems to me, looking at a playground analogy, that we've gone from an economic teeter-totter, which we've always had in the past, to an economic roundabout, or whatever those things are called, right? Because it just, none of the other factors necessarily affect all of them. I personally, as a business owner in Oakland County, I think we're going to be okay. But it's still a little bit scary. And it's, for the people watching, isn't it nice with all of this and all the scary news you get and price of eggs going through the roof and everything else? Really, if you're in shape to work, you can go out and find it. Almost everybody can go out and find a job right now.
That's true. And one of the things that I think is worth remembering is that there actually has been research that looks at, what are people most concerned about? Are they most concerned about inflation, or are they most concerned about losing their jobs? And, certainly inflation is unpleasant. I mean, I'm not going to try to second guess that. But when it comes down to the question of what would you rather have, inflation or the potential of losing your job, people would much rather have inflation.
Sure.
And
right.
And that seems to be the situation we're in right now. Do we have a little bit higher inflation than we'd like? Yes. But certainly the job market is booming, and there's just no two ways about that.
No, it is doing well. And then you do hear the layoffs at GM and them letting their contract workers go, and a lot of things going on in the auto industry. But, I'm not totally convinced, because I see some big money jobs out there too. I'm not totally convinced that if you have a big money job and you lose it, that you can't go find something else, because they're really, I don't think it's just jobs on the low end. I think they're jobs on all fronts. So
in fact, actually, one of the big areas that they've seen big increases in wages has been skilled workers in manufacturing. That many employers are having a really hard time right now getting people who are skilled workers, and they're willing to pay them more as a result of it. So it's really been a boon to those workers, but it's also, as you point out, it's been a boon to the people at the lower end of the wage scale, because there's more demand just for people to kind of come in and be warm bodies and do whatever work is available. So it's really been a broad-based benefit that's helped everybody across the economy.
Michael Greiner, Oakland University, thank you very much. Let's rip through, because we have a little bit less time than we normally do, some of the Michigan things. So on the heels of COVID, a lot of money came from the federal government to the states. How are we doing, and what's going on with spending for environmental issues here in Michigan?
Yeah, right now, actually, the state is looking at that because, of course, they need to do their budget every year. And, the state of Michigan is doing pretty well overall. We survived COVID quite well, largely as a result of the federal assistance, as you pointed out. But, now we're kind of past that. And the question is, where are we going to go next? Well, as you know, in the last elections, we had a big change in leadership, both in the House and the Senate. So now the Democrats are in control of both chambers. And they're looking to kind of put their mark on what's happening. And the big thing that we're going to see, I think, is a big increase in environmental funding. That there's talk about increasing by almost 50% the funding that the state puts into environmental causes. And that includes things like dealing with lead pipes, with dealing with environmental remediation, and really also trying to take advantage of the fact that there's all this money available potentially in clean energy businesses. So that seems to be the area they're focusing right now.
It's probably got to come at the expense of something. And, when you think about road work here in the state, even though we've had a Democratic governor saying fix the damn roads, traditionally investment in our road infrastructure has been something that they've been favoring more on the other side of the aisle. Briefly, do you think our road dollars are going to tighten up here in Michigan?
Well, we're going to have to do something, because the fact that the latest report shows that we're about $4 billion short in what we need to really fix the roads up to where we'd like to see them. So they're going to have to do something, and it's going to have to be either in taxes or some kind of funding coming from somewhere else. Unfortunately, I don't know that there's an easy way to get that done, because that amount has increased by about 100% in the last 8 years that needs to be spent.
And when you talk about the Democrats having a little more interest, and we didn't discuss this before the show, but really interesting article in the Detroit Free Press this morning about the legislature wanting to have more big impact on incentive programs. The governor has been doing that pretty much on her own through the Michigan Economic Development Corporation, putting deals together for like this big battery plant that the state is trying to make happen in Marshall. And then they just take that over to the legislature and they rubber stamp it. Today's article in the Detroit Free Press says legislature wants to dip their toe in the water a little bit earlier. So it kind of gets back to, but I'm sure the Democratic legislature is not going to stop the governor. They're all on the same team, but they seem to want to have a little bit more impact on those kind of decisions. Do we need big incentives? Go ahead.
You see that type of thing in politics a lot. But one thing from a business perspective that is certainly worth noting is Michigan is actually one of the states that is most generous in terms of tax incentives to get businesses to locate here. And, we've talked about this in the show before. But, that's certainly been a boon to manufacturing here, where we've done a great job of attracting a lot of investment, certainly relative to some of our neighboring states.
So you can't help but drive from community to community. And this week I was all over the state of Michigan doing work. And everywhere you go, there's more marijuana dispensaries than there ever has been. Some communities are saying no, but communities that haven't had them are starting to see them. And we've got some chains that I was looking at a list from one of them that are in almost every sector and region of the state. Are any communities pushing back on these dispensaries?
Yeah, interestingly enough, one of them is Pontiac, where there has been a bit of a battle over whether dispensaries should be allowed. In fact, they don't have any dispensaries within the borders of Pontiac. So that has been a bit of an issue. And actually, one thing that is interesting is you've seen some pressure from some residents mostly saying, you know, hey, we want to have some dispensaries here in Pontiac. And you've seen then the city council move forward on that. But then, interestingly enough, some of the large dispensary companies have essentially gotten together and funded an effort to try to stop that in Pontiac. So kind of a creating barriers to entry type situation.
They're trying to protect their turf, maybe a little bit.
You got it. Exactly right.
Well, it is interesting. It's really, you know, that is a great political issue. I wish we had all day to talk about it because, you know, it's illegal. It's illegal federally. It's legal here in the state of Michigan. Communities can say yes. Communities can say no. Then another interesting article this week, and I know this discussion's been going on about promoting "quote unquote" marijuana or cannabis tourism here in the state of Michigan. So it's like, how far do you go if it's legal? You know, what the heck? You know, if it's legal, then and you're in the business of attracting people to Michigan. You know, why hold back? So there's a lot of issues and questions around that.
There sure are. And from a budget perspective, it's a win-win for the state. I mean, on the one hand, you've got where there are additional taxes coming in as a result of this, which are quite substantial. And on the other hand, you know, you have now we're not essentially engaging in law enforcement so much of just trying to arrest people who are using marijuana, which used to be a big expense for both communities and for the prisons. So as a result of that, now it's kind of a win-win for the state budget.
All right. Any students in one of your classes is a huge winner. I wish I would have had you as a professor when I was going to school. Thank you for your time today. Final question for you. Are you bullish or are you bearish, if you will, on where we are right now, our economy, the job market, and what things are going to look like over the next 6 months?
You know, I'm actually a bit of an optimist, which I got to say, that's pretty much how Fed Chair Jerome Powell seems to be. I think if there is going to be a recession, it will be mild. I think that we're well positioned economically, and I think that the United States really is looking good for the next couple of years.
All right, Michael, thank you very much for being with us. I really appreciate it. Thanks for all you do and the hard work you do on our shows. I'm really glad we got a chance to chat. And Tyler will be back with you in more of a normal format next week. Thank you very much.
Sounds great. It's great talking with you, although I look forward to seeing Tyler again.
I'll tell him you like him better. It's okay. Michael Greiner, we like him better. Everyone here likes Tyler better, too. Michael Greiner, Assistant Professor of Management, Oakland University, and we really value our relationship with them. So, hey, don't go away. We got a ton coming up here on the show. We are going to take a look at some accolades for our teachers in Bloomfield Hills and in West Bloomfield. We're going to take a look at a number of community events that are coming up all over our area in the next couple of minutes, and including a couple of big ones. Michigan Week, we'll bring up to date on that, bring up to date on West Bloomfield Youth Assistance, and bring you up to date on some of the other programs that are going on this weekend. So stay tuned, stay here. This is the one show, our hour and a half, regardless of who's hosting or what the format is of it each day. This is an opportunity for you to tune in and get really local information for what's going on. 90 minutes every day of live and local programming right here on Civic Center TV. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. Thanks.
Wake up, Greater West Bloomfield. Start your mornings with The Splash and tune in for The Splash Live. Get acquainted with people, places, and activities that are live, local, and for you. First thing in the morning, weekdays at 9:30 a.m. on our Civic Center TV YouTube page, or watch us live at Civic Center TV or on Facebook. The Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's live update show. What's happening around you? Hear about state events, businesses, and from the people behind them on the MegaCast, an hour-long TV, radio, and streaming show keeping you informed on the day-to-day news. Listen in on talks with volunteer groups, documentarians, and financial advisors, Monday to Friday with your host, Tyler Kieft. Catch the MegaCast weekdays from 10 a.m. to 11 on Civic Center TV, 89.3 Lakes FM, and streaming on mymytv.com. You're watching and listening to your home for Greater West Bloomfield News, Civic Center TV and 89.3 WBLD Orchard Lake, West Bloomfield, Kego Harbor, Sylvan Lake, 89.3 Lakes FM.
It's my favorite time of the show where I get an opportunity to grab a quick cup of coffee. That is always good news. Hey, we'll get right back to the stories of the day and get my headphones fixed here. Bloomfield Hills Schools proud to announce their Teacher of the Year, and it's not just teacher, but as you can see in the image, Teachers of the Year. Angela Parker is the Bloomfield Hills School Elementary School Teacher of the Year. Laura Van Germit is the Bloomfield Hills Middle School Teacher of the Year from West Hills. Krista Liberte is the High School Teacher of the Year. I'm sure I mispronounced her last name. Sorry, Krista, from Bloomfield Hills High School. Our Teachers of the Year were recognized at an event just a week or so ago, a Board of Education meeting, and honored with a $250 grant by the Bloomfield Hills School Foundation. Congratulations to the amazing teachers, and that happened at I think it was last week during National Teachers Week. So congratulations to those amazing educators in Bloomfield Hills. And this week, Oakland Schools, Michigan honored West Bloomfield Middle School teacher Noelle Borst with the 2023 Oakland County Outstanding Middle School Teacher of the Year Award. Congratulations to Noelle. I mean, you just think, as we were talking about earlier in the program, you just think about those teachers that had a huge impact in your life, and you think about them almost every day that you're doing what you're doing, and you just think back, and there's maybe only one or two of them through your career, but you think back and you think about, well, where would you be without the time and the care that they gave you to learn what you needed to learn in life or in business or whatever you're involved in to have a successful life. So teachers, you make a difference. You're important. Thank you very much, and we're glad to recognize you right here on the show. Gleaners Food Bank is hosting several drive-up food distributions centers. They've been doing it all week, and it ends today. They are free and open to the public. Anyone in need of food is encouraged to attend, and you'll get 30 pounds of nutritious groceries like milk, fresh fruit, vegetables, lean protein, and other shelf-stable items. Now, here is the QR code that you need to go to. We'll put that up on the screen. There you go. If you scan that QR code, then you'll find out where the locations are today where you can go and get food. And this is going to be going on for a couple of more hours today. So if you know somebody who is having a food emergency at their home, this is a great solution for them right here in Oakland County. And thank you very much to the fine people at Gleaners Food Bank who do such an amazing job. We appreciate that and respect that, even if I don't think we spelled that correctly on the screen. But I don't know. I don't spell very well. So, but the QR code does work. Hey, coming to our area is one of the most notable politicians in our country. You may like him, you may not like him, but he's coming. Donald Trump is set to return to Michigan for a GOP event in Oakland County this summer. Oakland County Republican Party announced in a Facebook post just this week that Trump will be the keynote speaker at its dinner celebrating President Abraham Lincoln, their annual Lincoln dinner, of course, and that happens on June 25th. So, great opportunity if you're a big Trump fan to go out and see him and sign up for that dinner. And if not, then, you can watch it on TV and say whatever you want to the president through your television, all right? Donald Trump, though, coming to town, big news. From the Oakland Press, Oakland Livingston Humane Service Agency, the OLHSA, is having its annual Walk for Warmth event going on this weekend to help raise funds for emergency utility assistance. You know, just think about it. What a bummer it would be if in your household you did not have the money to pay your heating bill, and then your heat got turned off right in the middle of one of those really cold days, right in the middle of the winter. Well, the OLHSA is there to make sure that there's support for people who need it. I mean, I can remember parts of my life when I was just getting my career started, it was really hard to pay the utility bills, and we did mess up every once in a while, me and my roommates, and you know, we're struggling for cash. So we've all been there, and if you want to get involved and help residents, neighbors, and friends in Oakland County who are struggling right now to pay their bills, here's a good way to do it. Walkathon is happening tomorrow at Canterbury Village at 2359 Joslin Court in Orion Township. Registration's at 9 a.m. The walk begins at 9:30. Going to be a great opportunity for you to get together with some neighbors and do some good. Great news this weekend as well if you want to get out to the park. The weather is going to be absolutely amazing, and the fine people at Oakland Parks have opened up their trails, their dog parks, their playgrounds, their fishing spots at no cost. Now, not everything. I can't imagine you're going to get on one of the Oakland County golf courses for free this weekend. They'll be busy too. But a lot of the parks are going to be available for you at absolutely no charge. It's going on Saturday and Sunday. The parks open 30 minutes before sunrise and 30 minutes after sunset, and as is posted at all the parks, more information on that program is available for you at Oakland Parks on the web. Still time to register in the West Bloomfield Kegel Harbor area for the annual Kegel Harbor Memorial Day Parade. So we got the parade in Kegel, we got the parade in Sylvan, we got a zillion other parades going on, too many to mention across our area. We, however, do broadcast this live every year, and we'll be broadcasting this parade, recording the Sylvan Lake Parade. But get online, go to your local municipality, and make sure that you get the details so you can get in your local parade. And then by all means, whether you're in the parade or not, make sure you come and watch it. In the case of Kegel Harbor, deadline is May 13th if you want to register for the parade, so get out and do it. Now, I don't know about you, but I love going to concerts, and I really enjoy going to concerts outside. Two of my favorite venues, Meadowbrook, Pine Knob, and there are other outdoor venues, the other venue in Sterling Heights, a lot of great outdoor venues. But tickets have been expensive and difficult to get. We've all heard all the controversy over some of these tickets, and especially for the very high in-demand shows. But here's good news from Live Nation, who pretty much has a lock in the whole franchise. Live Nation's annual Concert Week promotion is coming up or is going on already. You can check out all the information at livenation.com/Concert Week. And they got this is a deal, $25 tickets are available for all these shows. And I'm looking at them, and I got a lot of these bands I don't even know, but I'm looking at the list in Pine Knob, and there are a ton of them. Derek's Bentley, Matchbox 20, Weezer, TLC and Shaggy, Santana. Look at that, Santana for $25. Anita Baker for $25, and a bunch more. Bare Naked Ladies, Culture Club, really? How about that? They're still out there. Steve Miller Band still out there. Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top. Come on, rock and rollers. Foreigner. How about that? So regardless of your music taste, a lot of opportunity there. And additionally, some $25 concerts at Meadowbrook. Now, coming there, I'm just looking at Lyle Lovett, Buddy Guy, Elvis Costello, the DSO. This is amazing. Is the DSO really going to do a night of music of Def Leppard? It just seems like a little bit of a conflict there. That I got to see that. So, and the Beach Boys coming. That'll be a lot of fun. So. Nothing better than a nice evening concert under the stars outside at Pine Knob or Meadowbrook or wherever you happen to go. So get on the Live Nation website, check it out. A lot of great deals for you. Well, it's one of our biggest events of the year, and it's right around the corner. It's Michigan Week. It happens next Friday at Temple Israel in West Bloomfield. Michigan Week has been going on for over 50 years, and we honor and celebrate volunteers in our community. This will be the 51st year. It's going to be at Temple Israel, where I was yesterday, checking out the venue, and it's going to be great because we have a room there that's bigger than any of the other rooms we've had over the last several years, and that means we'll be able to invite more people. But you still, it's going to sell out. I promise. It's going to sell out. There are only 300 total tickets available. So if you've not done so already, go to MichiganWeek.org and check out all the information, and you can reserve your tickets now, especially if you know someone who's going to be honored. You're going to want to be there. We're going to have a ton of dignitaries, folks from all the area schools, Bloomfield Hills, West Bloomfield, Walled Lake. Musicians will be performing, and this year from the schools, and this year even better. More themes. Should be a lot of fun. And we could West Bloomfield's own Terry Foster, Detroit sports columnist, 97.1 The Ticket sports talk host, is going to be our MC. So it's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be a great event. Next Friday, the 12th of May. We start early, so set your alarm clock. We kick it all off at 7. You're going to want to get there a little earlier, get your breakfast, and get seated for what is going to be a great event. Do go to the website and get all the details, Michigan Week website. Here's a beautiful piece of art I saw online. I just wanted to share with you. It's from Jeff Thambert. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? It's really a photograph that Jeff put together, and I don't know if he overlaid that that streaking, whatever it is in the middle of it, or that streak of light, or what that is. But if you really want to find out all about it, Jeff will be at the Orchard Lake Fine Art Show. Mark your calendar, the 29th and 30th. That happens every year in West Bloomfield, right off Orchard Lake Road near Maple, and it's going to be fun. Orchard Lake Fine Art Show, July 29th and 30th, and you definitely want to make sure that you take an opportunity to attend. SMART is looking at their bus routes, and if you are not taking advantage of the SMART bus to downtown from our communities, it really is a nice alternative. You don't have to fight through traffic, and you can sit there and relax, do a little work on the bus as you head downtown. SMART is considering extending a bunch of their routes to make it even easier for more people to participate, and the route that goes to West Bloomfield, they're talking about extending it to Sylvan Lake and Keegaw Harbor. There's going to be a hearing on Tuesday, May 16th, coming up in a couple of weeks. It's going to be at the Hawk in Farmington Hills at 5 o'clock. Mark your calendar if you want to get out there and let them know how important it would be for you to be able to participate in that and jump on the bus. Detroit Historical Museum trip from West Bloomfield Parks is coming up Friday the 12th from 10:30 to 3:15. This tour will be led by Jamin Jordan, founder of the Black Scroll Network, and will focus on the history, experiences, and enduring influence of African Americans right here in Detroit. The whole thing is all put together, the bus ride, the lunch. It's just another great program available from the West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Department. If you want to get on board with that, you can do so by going to the parks website. One other thing you're going to find when you get there is more information about a senior hike day, which is going on next Wednesday from 2 to 3:30 at the Recreation Activity Center in West Bloomfield. The naturalists, who are amazing at West Bloomfield Parks, will be there on a nature discovery walk and have all the information. And again, it's all at westbloomfieldparks.org. Hey, I'm running long. We got to get to break. Thank you very much for watching. This is The Splash and the MegaCast.
There are many different kinds of noses. Our noses can sniff out all kinds of things. Good things and bad things. Your nose knows if those sniffles are just a cold, allergies, or COVID-19. So swab it. Test it. It's good to know.
Wondering what to say to someone who's been sexually assaulted or abused?
I believe you. I'm so sorry this happened.
It's not your fault.
Confidential and anonymous help is available at the Michigan Sexual Assault Hotline. Connect with us 24/7. Call 855-VOICES-4 or text 1-866-238-1454 for help. Learn more at michigan.gov/voices4. Let's savor these moments. Made possible by the COVID-19 vaccine. Keep the dining out going by keeping yourself protected and your COVID-19 vaccines up to date. Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
Now that the vaccine is available for children 5 and up, why do you recommend it?
Kids are part of the community and they can spread COVID.
We're seeing both healthy children getting sick from the virus as well as children